196 Ontario Street, St. Catharines, January 13, 1942. Dear Margie. Well, darling, what do you think of this real winter? It's more northern-like, although I could stand it a little warmer, but not rain, and I'm afraid it will turn to just that by tomorrow. Have you heard anything from Eleanor yet? If you go there, dear, would she expect to put me up for the night? I would either stay there, of course, otherwise I could go to the old boarding house. I don't like taking things for granted, so straighten me out, won't you, dear? We had quite an accident at the job last week. One of the surveyors, about 50 years of age, fell into the river and was drowned. They haven't found him yet, and so far as I can see aren't troubling to look hard, and I'm afraid he will be in the lake by now. Got a letter from home, no letter from Gil yet, and they seem to think he should land along any day. I'm afraid they will be disappointed, as it often takes some time to get their letters through. Well, darling, this isn't much of a letter, and how often have I said that, eh? Well, if I can't think of anything to write, it's because I'm always thinking of you and us. What we should do and will do when we are together for keeps. Gosh again. Write me soon, darling, and if you see Kate, tell her the reason we don't quarrel is because we have perfect love, and naturally we'll find a way to walk around any differences if we even run across one. Guess that's all, sweetheart. Remember, I love you. Oh, the Firestone Hour will be coming on in about a minute. I wonder if you are listening. All my love, dearest. As ever. Roger XXXX. January 26, 1942. Dear Margie. I guess you are wondering what has happened my not writing before this, but really, dear, it seems that this week consists of all work and no play. I have worked the past 3 Sundays now, and yesterday it was after 6 when I got home. Intended writing then, but fell asleep on the Chesterfield. The landlady woke me when she came in about 10. Got a letter from home, still no word from Gil. They gave me the dickens for not writing. Think a letter must have gone astray. Well, darling, what are the plans for the weekend? Niagara, I hope. The reason is I doubt whether we will be paid before Saturday. However, I will have your fare and enough for other expenses. Skiing would be out this weekend anyways, unless there is an abrupt change in the weather. It's like spring. Yes, darling. I think we had better lay some definite plans regarding us getting hitched. I am beginning to realize that we could save more money married than we could running around every 2 weekends, and every second week isn't enough for this lad. I want you every night in every week for the rest of my days. So, darling, give it some real serious thought, and we will see what say. I think that the old fortune teller had a pretty good foresight. Is that spelled correct? Anyways, you know what I mean. I'll have a pretty fair check this pay, and the way things are going, have a good one next. And with a little care, should be able to pile up a little hay. Anyways, we can talk about it on the weekend. I am going downstairs in a few minutes to listen to Firestone Hour. I was writing you last week at about this same time, if I remember correctly. I generally have the house to myself Monday nights, so can tune in to whatever I wish. Remember me telling you of the engineer drowning a few weeks ago? They found him Sunday morning just after we started to work. He was quite a mess, badly ground up by the ice. Well, dear, guess this is all the news for the present. Write soon, darling. All my love. As ever. Roger XXXXXXX. February 3, 1942. Dear Margie. Just a line, dear, to say that I'm on the job again. It seemed funny missing a day after 3 weeks steady. I got the 11 o'clock bus back from Hamilton, so I had only an hour wait. I phoned Helena's place, but nobody was home. Didn't bother Mrs. Daitley's, it was too late to go out anyways. Arrived home about 12:30, the roads were pretty icy and the driver took his time. Got a letter from the folks, and they tell me that Len, Dad, and younger brother are in Hamilton. We will have to get over some weekend and get Alma at the piano. You have never heard him, have you? I am sure you would enjoy it. Wasn't it cold yesterday and today? I had to work outside Monday morning for a few hours, and it wasn't so hot. Gosh, there doesn't seem to be much to say, darling, except how much I love you. Well, Raleigh is shaved at last, and we are to go to a show. What we are to see is hard to say. At least puts in the time. So, sweetheart, if you will excuse me, I'll call this a letter. I didn't want to leave it any longer for fear it developed into something like the other week. Write soon, Margie. All my love. As ever. Roger XXXXX.